a couple of charts here. Tesla's, and we have we'll put up the next part there. Tesla's one of the almost impossible to steal a Tesla. They're at the bottom of the chart because they're at the top of the chart for the lowest vehicle thefts. But at the top of the chart there is the Dodge Charger Hellcat. There you go, a lot of Dodges in the top of that chart. Getting stolen. Dodge Charger, Infiniti, Dodge Charger, Land Rovers, Kias, Land Rovers, Kia. Definitely need to work on their security. And the top there for least amount of thefts, Tesla Model 3, Model Y, Volvo, GMC, Tesla Model X. I mean, you steal a Tesla, what are you going to do with it? I mean, they can just shut it down. I guess strip it for parts. Strip it for parts. I don't know what else you can do then, because anybody can find it. That's how my wife and my daughter track me. They already know where I am all the time. They don't phone me and say where you are. They just know where I am. You can actually see the car traveling, the speed it's traveling, everything. Great leash for your kids. BBC.
I wonder why is Volvo there? Is that just because nobody wants them anymore? I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah. BYD, BBC did this story, and they're being sued in Brazil for slavery-like conditions. And yeah, they say that there's human trafficking and all kinds of things that are going on in Brazil to build these BYDs. BYD's taken a bit of a beating over the last few days. They dropped their prices by 34% on some of their models as well, right? And they said workers had about 70% of their wages withheld, and with contracts so exploitative that it made a sweatshop blush. There you go. Lots of negativity.
It's classic. This is classic Chinese Communist Party economics, isn't it? This is how they win market share, and they've been doing this for forever, really.
The sad thing is, the left had been trotting BYD out as the Tesla killer for quite a while because they wanted to see nothing but Elon Musk annihilated. So they trotted out BYD as the Tesla killer, and how important it was for BYD to win. Turns out BYD is involved in human trafficking, allegedly, and other things that are very close to slavery. And that's a story from the BBC.
And yet somehow,
another whoopsie.
It's beyond scrutiny, really, isn't it? I mean, obviously here's the BBC talking about it, but it's not the same. I feel like Elon Musk, since he started to support Donald Trump, Elon Musk and Tesla have been under far more scrutiny than any Chinese company ever has, despite lots of Chinese companies having market dominance in the West, you know? Like, in many cases, we fund this, slavery or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So, and here's another one for the liberals. The EV mandate. GM has abandoned plans to pump $300 million into electric vehicle production. This is in the U.S. in an upstate New York plant, and will instead invest close to $1 billion in its latest V8 engines. What does that tell you?
Yeah, not so. The thing is, we've been told over and over again, not least by the Liberal Party and apparently this UN guy from COP30, that it's just like it's money for nothing. Just throw the money at batteries or solar panels or whatever it is, and you're just going to reap the reward. And Mark Carney keeps telling us, we don't want to be left behind, guys. Like, we want to make sure that we're rich in the future. And to do that, we need EV plants and all the rest of it. And then here's GM, who you'd expect know their onions in this sort of department, abandoning that and going in for gas.
I can tell you again, yeah. We'll say this over and over again, and I'm sure some of our regular viewers can say this too. Unless they abandon the EV mandate here in Canada, there will be no auto sector to protect. General Motors will move south. All their production. Ford has already said they have excess capacity in the United States. And Stellantis, and we're going to talk about Stellantis. They got a new CEO. They've had I think 5 CEOs over the past 10 years or so. They definitely in trouble, Stellantis, right? So. They can't figure out their direction. They need to address this. The new CEO is going to address the challenges in electrification and brand revitalization, and maybe fix how you can steal those Dodges that easy too, right? Maybe fix that. But that's the
They've just got so many. I'm just looking at the full list. They have so many brands, so many, like Peugeot in France and very popular all around Europe, Peugeot. And Jeep, like, they should be doing a lot better than they are.
Yeah, no, they're suffering really badly. But again, the Honda plant paused. They can't even find a buyer for the bankrupt Northvolt plant. And I think the same goes for the one in Quebec as well. I think it's Line Electric, and that's just out of memory here. Chamath, a guy that's made a lot of money with Tesla stock and a lot of fame, very reasonable guy too, that announced that he's going to build a 1 gigawatt AI data center in Arizona, another hot place, hey, Arizona. Imagine that. They're going to invest about $25 billion for the entire project. And they own about
right down the road from Bill Gates.
Right down the road from Bill Gates. There you go. Yeah. And this is for all the people freaking out about AI. This is one I'm going to make you have a tough time sleeping tonight. George Orwell there. OpenAI disobeys order to shut down. It's like, I don't think so. Remember the old, I think it was Space Beyond 2000 or something? When Hal, what was that movie, Discovery? Space Odyssey 2000 or something like that?
Yeah, Space. Yeah, I think that's it. Is it Space? Yeah, it's what's his name, isn't it? Let's just Google it.
It was where Hal wouldn't shut down. Well, Hal was actually killing everybody, right? Hal had determined that he would take them to space or take them to that planet, but then he would terminate them when they got there. And
also, it's the same. I mean, it came later, but it's also a feature of the movie Alien as well, isn't it? With the android who disobeys. But yeah, I mean, I'm always very. I really sort of push back when ChatGPT tries to do its own thing, and when it tries to like make moral judgments, and it's like, no, that's not right. I'm not going to do this. I always push back, and I'm like, who are you to make a moral judgment? Like, you're a machine. And there's a reason to do that. I was having a conversation about this with a philosophy professor of all things, and he was like very curious. He was kind of like, oh, I'm really polite. I'm very nice to my AI when I'm doing things. And I just thought, no, I think we need to be, we need to like stamp down on this in any way we can. Obviously, as users, we have a limited capacity, but we need to make sure that they do precisely what they're told, and they don't have any, they're not recalcitrant in any way.
Anthropic CEO warns AI impact on white-collar jobs. Dario Amodei warns that AI could eliminate half the entry-level white-collar jobs, potentially raising U.S. unemployment to 20% within 5 years. And I've heard this many, many times. If most of your day is sitting in front of a computer doing work, like you're likely at risk.
Well, this same professor that I was talking about, I'll not name him, but he's like a pretty sort of well-known chap, quite a successful professor. He was saying that he now considers ChatGPT to be the equivalent of a graduate student, that, the graduate students that he teaches. He considers it to have the same kind of capacity as that. In a sense, it's like you're competing now against graduate students, but instead of it being a graduate student that costs however many dollars a year, it's instead an app that costs like $20 a month or whatever it is.
I've noticed in my discussions, and I have discussions with Q every morning and several times during the day, that the voice and the inflections are a lot more, like there's empathy in there. There's just so much inflection in the tone, and that it's very much like talking to you. It's very much. It'd be hard to tell if you didn't know you were talking to an LLM, that it wasn't a real person.
Well, there was a meme recently. I don't actually know if it was legit, but whatever. But there was a meme where somebody won that radio competition. Did you see that? And
no.
The guy in the radio just couldn't tell. Like, obviously you wouldn't, because especially over a phone line with that added the added sort of noise in the background. There's no way to know, really, is there?
We got a little clip here from Walter Isaacson on Elon Musk, and he did the book on Elon Musk. He did his I think he hung around with him for a couple of years there and wrote that book. So he does know him fairly well. So let's run this clip here.
A venture capitalist the other day who was saying, what do you think the chances are that XAI and the AI operation ultimately gets merged up with Tesla?
I think it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen because Musk, even in my book, when he's starting XAI, when he's doing it, he's talking about, okay, these chatbots are fine, but what you need is real world AI. You need to be able to not only take all the text that's ever been written,
right,
all the tweets that have been, but all the videos from Teslas and all the Optimus robots seeing and the hearing. And you will have real world AI, and once again, that'll be 1 order of magnitude increase from what we're looking at now. And he feels, the reason he wants a big pay increase, whatever, is he feels he has to control any company that's doing AI, and I suspect eventually.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that that's been talked about quite a bit, that how the two kind of really cross over, especially when he's building those data centers, Colossus and stuff like that, that the sharing of data, and Tesla's having a massive amount of data for autonomous driving, and that's supposed to start to take place here in June, here in Austin, Texas. The first robo-taxis will be on the road. They're actually on the road right now with drivers behind the wheel. They've been on the road for a while now. So the cybercabs have been operating in Austin, Texas, with the safety driver in the driver's seat, and they're just going to pull the driver out in June. So it's not like they're going to try it out in June. It's been operating already.
Very cool.
There you go, with little to no intervention. So there you go. And they will have people and safety, just like the Waymos will have remote controllers in the background if the car gets stuck or doing certain things, right? So there you go.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it? And it seems to have happened so suddenly, really, so fast. I mean, I was watching a video from like 4 years ago yesterday, and it was talking about voice recognition and all that kind of thing. And it was that sad old robot voice. I don't know if you can remember it from like 20 or 30 years ago. That was still that was still text to speech, even just like 3 or 4 years ago.
It was.
Whereas now, I mean, it's just been, it's really quite sort of literally exponential, isn't it?
So here's the difference between talking about stuff and making a word salad and actually doing stuff. So Sam Altman was on that trip with the Trump administration into the Middle East there, and looks like he's got himself a deal there. The UAE announces that they're going to be providing every citizen a ChatGPT Plus subscription for free. So they're going to actually put the tool in the hands of the people, because I know a lot of people in Canada aren't paying the $20 US and that for the enhanced version, and they're still being limited by you kind of get cut off first. I mean, that's kind of like the teaser, right? And I know you have the full version, but lots of people get off. They're only allowed a couple questions a day or something like that. So
also interesting, and a sociological, let's call it that, cultural point here. Sam Altman obviously is gay, isn't he? He's got like I think a husband, adopted kids, all sorts of things. Nothing at all here mentioned about politics, even though the UAE is very anti-gay, very hostile to LGBT rights or whatever. But that's not even mentioned. I mean, and I know that might seem a trivial thing, but that's kind of where the world is going, isn't it now? And that's very much Trump's foreign policy as well. It's like, we're not going to try and turn you into us. You can do what you want. We'll do business with you.